What's up, everyone? This is Nerdtooine. We are live. We are going to be live on multiple platforms in a little bit here, but I figured that I would get started over here because we're going to do some Mandalorian preview, little Mandalorian final theories with my boy Grogu here. My dog all of a sudden wants my Grogu. He never wants my Grogu, but that's okay. But we're going to be live on the Waffle app. So please go download that. I'm actually going to hold on. Let's do something smart here. I'm actually going to put a little if I can find it. Where did I put that? I had the links just set up. Oh wow. Because it's not the Waffle. It's called Junkie. My boy Waffle is part of it. So I put the Oh, that's funny. That is too fucking funny. Oh my god. Here we go. On a copy. Oh, you stupid. Ew. Yeah, that was you. You farted, you jerk. I literally took my dog out like 20 minutes ago, and he's still farting. But I don't think anyone's here to hear me talk about my dog, so it's okay. Oh, God. That's crazy. All right, so it's in the chat. Now let me hook up. I'm going to get Junkie set up because we're going to be live on there too. Stand by. What's going on, everyone? Everyone on Junkie, how you doing? Move this out. There we go. What up, Waffle? We are here. Trying to get this little setup a little bit better. Ew, what's up? Whoa. We're here. We're talking Mandalorian season finale. So I've got a lot of theories myself, but I have even more theories to debunk. So we're gonna do that to start off. The very first one, of course, is I'm sorry, the other spy is not the armorer, ladies and gents. I can assure you that it's not the armorer. Hey, Waffle, I'm noticing that my screen goes black. If it goes black, did you lose the connection there just now? Because I don't mind that. I can just check the chat or eventually, like every once in a while. Okay, cool. Because it's a little far away, so I have to like reach. But yeah, man. A lot of people are saying it's the armorer. I just don't see it, man. For me, the armorer has just way too little to gain from it. I understand that she like survived that attack early on in the show, and people point to that as the reason why she is the spy, and I'm like, no. Ooh, wait a minute, let's pull the web up. Zanzi, what's up? If you guys are seeing this on YouTube, come on over to the Junkie app. I put the link in the description. Well, I mean in the chat. Let's go ahead and enter here. See if I can log in, sign in. Let's see if we can get this. Damn it. All right. Let's see. Cool. There we go. Stay in attendee mode. There we go. All right. Now we're rolling. You guys see me? We all good to go still? Because now I have it in two separate areas. I want to make sure that we don't have any issues. Because I have the camera up here, but it's set up elsewhere. So let me know if we're all good to go. We're talking Mandalorian season finale. It's going to be on in just a few hours. So man, it's gonna definitely be interesting what we get. I have to admit, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. See, that's what I was talking about, man. All right. You know what? Hold on. Here's what we're gonna do. How do I? What's up, Comic CT? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to switch it, and hopefully everything works like I want it to. Why? It gave me the option the first time to just be a spectator, but I don't want to be a spectator anymore. Hey, what's up, Noah? Trying some things out here. It's my first time using have 100% crash course. Here we go. Let's do switch host mode. Allow. Q9. Allow. There we go. Look at that. We're back. Here, let's just go ahead and close. Hold on. Screw this. We're going to back out of this one. And we're here. Sound good now? You guys can hear me? We all set? Cool. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we're just gonna use. I was trying to do something clever, and I have like multiple things going, and and just be as clever as possible. And I, ruined it myself. So I now here we are. We're in where we're supposed to be. We're on Junkie. If you're seeing this on YouTube, hop over to Junkie. I put the link in the chat over there. So let's talk. All right. So we've got Mandalorian theories. I am going to be talking nothing but Mandalorian tonight. So if you don't want, or if you're not caught up, or you don't want any spoilers or anything like that, this might not be the live for you. But I will say that if you're here and you're caught up, we're gonna have a great time. I have a lot of theories that I think are going to be pretty dang accurate. I've been unfortunately very close in almost every one of my predictions so far. So in the last episode, if you're like I said, if you're haven't seen it, I'm going right in. The last episode, it was titled "The Spies." So we know what one of the spies. The spy was the guy that the person that Moff Gideon had in. Oh, dude, yeah, that hurt. Noah killing off Paz. It was such a powerful scene, and with something like that, me too, Noah. I did too. I absolutely cried. I was because you know what it was. You know what made me cry? It was the fact that for a split second, We thought that he'd won. All right, Almo. Hey, so this is gonna be on my YouTube as well, saved. So you can always go there and double check the replay later if you want. Just so you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be doing plenty of shows on Junkie, so don't you worry about missing one. All right, because another one's gonna come right around the corner. um, but yeah, the so everyone's talking about who the spies are. So because it wasn't the spy, it was the spies with an S. So for me, there has to be more than just the one. So who is it? Many people think it's the armor. Many think it's Axe Wolf. Um, some people think it's the people that were on Mandalore when they showed up. I even had a theory that it could be some of the Mandalorians in the mercenaries. The person who answered the armorer's call when she was bringing the wounded up sounded so much like Gideon, and to me, I feel like Gideon has a whole bunch of clones. I think all of the commandos are all clones of him. So that could be something interesting there was a Gideon, a clone Gideon in with the mercenaries the whole time. I mean, would you put that past Gideon to have someone like that, or maybe even his son if he didn't have a clone of himself? But man, that sounded a lot like Gideon when it was like, "Oh, we read you," you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I really don't know if we can sit there and say that the armorer is the bad guy. I definitely don't think so. What do you guys think? Anyone who's in the chat, who do you think the other spy could potentially be? Well, I'm actually gonna put my hair up. You know what's really funny? There's actually some people that are joking and be like, "What if Grogu is the spy? What if Grogu is secretly evil? The one that turned into the scientist." Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the one who that's one of the spies. Noah, I feel like there's more because the title of the episode was "Spies" with an S. So we know about her, but where are the other ones? Right, yeah, that's number one. Is that more hair just randomly sitting up there? Sorry, I look like shit. um, but yeah, so it could. There's definitely more. Because just with that, they couldn't have done that. That trap so well. I mean, it was just executed perfectly. And if it wasn't for Bo having the dark saber, and if it wasn't for Paz Vizsla sacrificing himself, they would have been all wiped out, all of them. So, I mean, it's one of those things where like there has to be more to it. There has to be more spies out there. Who they are, you got me. Like I said, I've had some theories, but my theories more are aligned with who might show up. Like I definitely think a lot of people think Sabine's gonna show up. I think Ahsoka's gonna show up. Like because think about this: who can take on the Praetorian Guard that are still that are around at this time? It's literally like Ahsoka, Luke, and maybe Sabine with Ezra's lightsaber, you know what I mean? Because she's had training, you know, and then so you have those three and Bo with the dark saber. Okay, you got a shot to beat those guys, but those, yo, 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 those Praetorian guards, man, they were absolutely insane. I can't believe how gangster they made them. Like they were just the most gangster of gangsters. Like I could not believe how like because they're straight out of the sequel trilogies. Yeah, right. I feel like one or at least wounded. You know what I mean? Like they just whooped his butt and just straight up killed him. And someone brought up why were those weapons so effective against the Mandalorian Beskar armor? And I think it's a clear answer because they used that tech that Sabine came up with. that like electrifies and goes through Mandalorian armor. I think those weapons are have that same tech. So that's why I was able to go through the armor. And, Paz was he is one of the more skilled and strong of all of the Mandalorians, and if he can't take those dudes out, I mean, it was 3-on-1s. You know what I mean? Your skills only matter so much when you're literally outnumbered 3-1. You know what I mean? There isn't much that anyone could do. There's not much that even little Grogu could do. So, you know what? All right, you want to know one thing that really surprised me about this episode? I thought for sure that when Din got captured, Grogu was gonna do like his first. He's gonna say his first words, and it was just gonna be no, like Vader, and like force crush all of those troopers that had him. I totally thought that was gonna happen. Like I just to see him like get scared, I was like, oh, that's I don't know about that. Wow. Yeah, I'm actually hoping to see him next month. He's gonna be at HeroCon, and it starts May the 6th. So I was like, oh my god, I should go do an interview with him on Revenge of the Sixth. Revenge of the Sixth. Revenge of the Fifth. Revenge of the Fifth. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, I mean, I'm sure that they don't tell them that too far in advance. I mean, like that was and especially something like that because it was so impactful. Like it had so much weight to it. When you have a scene like that that is really impactful, not only emotionally but for the story as well. Because now the any doubt that either tribe of the Mandalorians had that they were for each other was ended in that moment. They all know now that they're together in this. They all know now that it's them against everybody else. It was like it's like Bo said, man. Like the Mandalore has always been that one planet that is just too powerful for anyone to take for one group of people to take out. The only reason why they weren't the dominant force in the galaxy is because they always fought each other. You know what I mean? Like they always knew that they were like well, actually, maybe they didn't know, but they should have always seen that they were their own worst enemies. Always, always. And so, I definitely think that we're going to end up getting this episode's gonna hurt. This episode's gonna hurt. I've been seeing a lot of talk in the community from people who know, and they're like, be prepared. Like I'm gonna literally have like a box of tissues next to me because I'm sure I'm gonna be crying my eyes out. Yo, that's what I'm saying. I'm actually surprised that didn't happen. Hold on one second. Sorry, I woke you up. You look like you had something on you. I'm sorry. I had to go make sure you weren't dying. You had cancer like a month ago. Calm down. Sorry. Go lay back down, buddy. Go ahead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Noah, I thought for sure he was gonna like force crush all of those freaking whatchamacallit, the troopers. I want to call them dark troopers. I feel like that's what they should be called, even though they're white. I mean, unless you want to call them like the what did they call them in the was it rebels, right? It was the commandos, right? Didn't they call them the commandos? So all right, here we go. So anyone in the chat, who do you think is going to come to the rescue? Because honestly, I don't even think with all the Mandalorians they got on the ship that they can take everyone. So someone's there. Someone's gonna bring in reinforcements. Is it gonna be Bo? Gonna be calling in? See, I think it's gonna be Ahsoka too. I like I said, it comes down to, can the Mandalorians take out any fighting force? Absolutely, but can they defeat those 3 Praetorian guards? I keep saying that they're named differently. Praetorian, whatever. The red guys who are really beasts. um, but Noah, that also connects with one of my theories, because early in the season we saw the Purgles in the hyperspace tunnel with them, right? And Grogu is up there looking at them and looking at them, and then he just kind of stares for a second, and then he goes right down and goes to sleep. So what I think happened there is, I think he actually communicated with the Purgle. I think the Purgle basically were protecting him, and he could sense that, and went down and went to sleep. Like, cause think about it. Well, the first time we saw the Purgles, it was in Rebels, and they were talking about how they're a menace and that how they will go and destroy ships in the hyperspace lanes. These Purgle were literally circling the ship like an escort. And we saw in that same episode of Rebels that those Purgles are not as primitive as everyone makes them out to be. They actually had a conversation with Ezra through the Force. So why wouldn't the same thing happen with Grogu? And that is the key to how Ahsoka finds where Ezra and Thrawn are. So I think the final scenes of Rebels, where they do that time jump and Ahsoka shows back up to meet with Sabine, I think that all happens around the same time as this, because they had a time jump. So I think that ending scene, not anything else in Rebels, just that one ending scene. So I think what's going to happen is Ahsoka's going to get the information from Grogu, and then we'll get into live action that scene at the end of Rebels where they boarded the ship together to go look for Ezra. That's my theory. You heard it here first on Junkie. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Noah. I thought for sure that Grogu was going to use the Force. Maybe he was scared. I mean, he how many times does this poor, I don't want to say kid, I mean, he is 50. Well, I think he's like 55 now. Like, he's had a lot of rough stuff happen. You know what I mean? Like, he has not had it easy. I mean, he had to watch all of his mentors die right in front of him. And I also think that Grogu is subconsciously holding himself back. Like, I feel like he's Gohan, to where Gohan seems to be just a mild-mannered little boy, and then he snaps and becomes this unbeatable force. I believe that Grogu is having a similar scenario, because yes, I agree, Zon. But so the reason why I really believe this is because of the scene of his escape in this season. He had at least four dedicated Jedis just to him. And then he is saved by literally the Jedi Master who trains all the younglings. So I feel like he may have been very well trained in the Force, because Yoda, when he was 90, he was a full-fledged Jedi Master and training younglings. We saw that in the High Republic adventures. So he is 40 years younger than where Yoda was as a Jedi Master. Now, unless Yoda was, maybe he grew up into his teen years and was just so good that he was able to, latch on and become a master sooner. Who knows? But I feel like we're going to get something where, like, for instance, Din's going to die. I'm calling it. Din is not making it past this episode. Okay, I feel like someone's gonna shoot Din, and Grogu's gonna do his little Grogu jump and jump in the way, get shot in the chest. It's gonna look like he's dead, but remember he has that extra plate that the armorer gave him, so he's gonna end up being alive. But Din is not gonna know, and he's gonna get enraged and go. Whoever shot that shot is dead, and it's probably gonna be Moff. Because I just got a feeling that Moff isn't making it through this episode either. I mean, because he's being too ballsy. So either if he survives, the post-credit scene will be Thrawn killing him in prison. like once Thrawn finds out all the shit he was talking, Thrawn's gonna take that dude out. But so I'm thinking that what's gonna happen is Din's gonna get mortally wounded, and then Grogu's gonna like Gohan snap when freaking like when he's about to battle Cell. You remember he's like, "You monster," and he just turns into this unstoppable force. I could see that happening with Grogu. Like something's gonna happen, and then just every switch in his brain is gonna, and he's gonna like full on. Like I could see him even summoning like the Darksaber, just like literally just like zing. And I think he's the true Mandalore, by the way. I think Grogu is actually the Mandalore. Like he is the Mandalorian, not Din. Because I think he's just destined to be the one to take the reins, you know, because he'll be the second ever Jedi Mandalorian, and wielder of the Darksaber and potentially rider of the Mythosaur. Zahn, I tend to do that, and I'm actually usually right a lot more than I'm wrong. Like, for instance, I predicted the season finale of WandaVision and the ending of Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness with the WandaVision trailer. The first trailer. I got receipts. But they see for me, and you know, I've made bolder predictions on. I actually think that it's not as far of a stretch because we've seen him already do something like that in a couple different scenes. You know what I mean? All throughout the series, he has done that. When the Mudhorn almost killed Din, he used the Force and picked that thing up. Granted, he passed out right after, but it's not like he just was like, I'm going to put my arm up and hope something happens. He instinctually, the Force kicked in and was like, oh, like that's happened on a few scenarios. Like he's as a child, a little Grogu, how is he supposed to know about Force choking? You know what I mean? Like his knowledge just kind of kicks in at different points. And I definitely think a lot of the training he got with Luke is going to help unlock that too, because he's going to. There's so much that, like, how much more adult can he get in 40 years? Because like I said, Yoda, this is canon. Yoda was a Jedi Master training younglings at 90. So I'm not saying he has to be as strong as Yoda. He doesn't necessarily have to be a Jedi Master at 90. But if you're a Jedi Master at 90, you've probably been talking for 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? And Grogu hasn't even said one word yet. So for me, I feel like Grogu is suppressing his own abilities, both for talking and his actual Force powers. Like, I mean, more and more, like he shows how powerful he actually is, and more we realize that he may just be strong as all hell. I mean, again, as we spoke about earlier, I'm surprised he didn't use the Force and crush all of them like Vader did. Like when Vader found out that Padme was dead, like that, no, and just everything around him, just everything got crushed. I like when I saw that scene, I'm like, oh my god, here it is. He's about to go full Gohan. Oh shit! Oh, it didn't happen. Oh damn. Like I was actually surprised by that. I was like, there's no way that it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't like for me, it felt like it had to happen that way. And that it just didn't. I was like I said, I was really surprised actually. I was definitely surprised about that. But and also surprised that he was so quick to run. I'm not saying he was fleeing, but like I'm surprised that a couple of the Mandalorians didn't have to pull him through that hole. You know what I mean? Like with his outstretched IG-12 arms, like you know what I mean? Like with them pulling him like when one of the a short hero is like trying to fight someone and everyone's retreating, some big guy just picks him up as he's like like that's what I thought was gonna happen, like but no, he just straight up took off. Which is what he was supposed to do, you know what I mean? He's nothing he could do at that point if he's not going to use the force like that. So he's following orders and following the troop, you know what I mean? So like it's not like I'm like, oh man, I can't believe he ran. I mean, wouldn't you? You were literally trapped like a sardine, and then Bo opened the door and you ran out. That's what you were supposed to do. Like that's literally what the plan was. Like, you know what I mean? So like I'm not like trying to downplay Grogu's heroism. But yeah, I mean it was man, what an episode. And I also called that as well, by the way, that it wasn't cursed and that there was something going on from the Empire on Mandalore. Again, I think my exact words were something. Well, we're gonna find out next episode that there's been something really big going on Mandalore with the Empire or the First Order, is how I worded it. And then poof, ta-da! Look, I was right again. But I definitely think that Grogu is the key to the Ahsoka series. Like how Ahsoka was able to figure out, because in the Mandalorian, when we see Ahsoka live action for the first time, um, she had no idea where Thrawn was. Still asking, like, "Where's Thrawn? Where's your leader?" So at this point in the timeline, she doesn't know where Ezra or Thrawn are. So where does she get that information from? Grogu. And we've already seen that they can communicate just with the Force without even using words. And that's another reason why I think that Grogu's holding himself back, because if he can communicate through the Force, like straight up, like, and it's not just senses, because he told her his name. You know what I mean? So it's like he actually like is having a true conversation with them. So I don't I feel like he's definitely holding himself back. I really do. I think he is like literally like stopping his own abilities subconsciously. I don't think he knows, I don't think he knows that is what he's doing, but I mean, it definitely feels like that's what's going on. And just think how freaking badass it will be if he like Hulk busts out of that IG-12 unit and just goes full like flying around with the force and shit. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Oh man, I want that more than anything. Oh man, I want that more than anything. But it would be awesome if he like just randomly like says like he says his first words, like he always could talk, he just didn't want to or something. You know what I mean? And then like he summons the dark saber. Back off of my dad. And then just goes at him. Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that'd be great. Cause like the those Praetorian guards, man, I think the only people that can really really take them on are Jedi or Sith. I mean, anyone who's strong with the Force and has a freaking lightsaber. Like, I mean, or the dark saber. I mean, it is a lightsaber. It's just not a standard lightsaber. So, but yeah, I definitely I'm expecting Grogu to have a big part in this episode and be a big factor in what saves anybody. And I feel like Grogu is going to try to force heal, and it's going to be too late. That's just my personal thoughts. I'm trying to. This is my first live, so I'm just kind of like look right now. I'm literally just looking around what I can do on here. I'm like, ooh, stats. I like stats. Chat. Okay, this is really slick, man. I really like this. I really, really like this setup. Um, sorry, I'm just gushing over this. This is really cool. Um, but yeah, I definitely have to say that this season has been great, and I I've had a very hard time with a lot of people that have been talking about the Mandalorian because they're like, and I've said this, I actually got really mad like one day, and I went off. If your only reason or explanation as to why you don't like something is that it's mid, I have you don't know the property you're talking about or the medium in which it's being delivered. Because if you can't give me anything more, oh, it's mid, it's the Mandalorian, then you obviously either are not watching and just joining the hate trend, or you don't like good material and don't know what long-term storytelling is, and you don't like how you only get cameos when there are famous people, not people in Star Wars. Like, what up, Comic CT? Like for me, like there was a couple people on TikTok that were losing their mind over Ahmad Best freaking coming back as the. Why couldn't it be Ahsoka? Why couldn't it be Obi-Wan? Why couldn't it be? Well, many reasons. One, Obi-Wan was on another fucking planet. Excuse my language. I try not to curse, but when I get a little heated, sometimes it comes out. But man, like Obi-Wan was on another planet. So was Ahsoka. Mace Windu, sure, it could have been Mace. I'm okay. I would have been okay with that. But I mean, to have it be Best as his character in that YouTube show they did over the pandemic, which was widely hailed. People loved it, and it was great seeing him back because he was the voice and the motion cap actor for Jar Jar Binks, and he got literal death threats. Like he almost like unalived himself, man. I'm saying it like that just to make sure that I don't get kicked off any of the platforms. But he to come full circle and now be the one who saved Grogu, who will potentially be a huge part of the Star Wars fandom and universe for the foreseeable future. I mean, we got 900 years with this dude, like unless he dies earlier, you know what I'm saying? But man, to have it come full circle and then have so many people like genuinely happy to see him, man. And I got a theory about that too. Okay, so we're gonna hop off of the season finale theories. I mean, we might see in the season finale, but I don't think it would fit. But when Ahmad Best's character, Kelleran Beck, saved Grogu, okay, he goes to where he says, "My friends," and when he gets there, it's the Naboo military force with a Naboo luxury yacht, the exact same one. It's not the same as in it's Padme's, but it's the same model. Who else would have access to a ship that the royal and dignitaries of Naboo would have? Jar Jar Binks. So I think Jar Jar is the one who technically saved Grogu. I think that Jar Jar found out what was going to happen and sent word to the Jedi that they need to protect Grogu. I think only certain people knew about Grogu and knew about what he could mean for the future of not only the Jedi, but the whole galaxy. And that's why there were so many Jedi specifically there to help save Grogu. And why, when he was rescued, it was in a Naboo yacht. And it would also explain the canon ending for Jar Jar, because he spent the rest of his days on Naboo, exiled from his own people, because he was basically the reason why the Emperor got to power in the first place, and everyone blamed him for it. But he spent his life living the streets and entertaining children. He always had a bond with the children. Even in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, I mean, he was just very much a person for the children. So, what would he do if he knew that the Jedi Temple was about to be attacked? He would try to save as many children as he could. And unfortunately, the only one that made it was Grogu. So, if you ask me, not only did Ahmad Best, Keller, and Beck save Grogu, but also Jar Jar Binks. And that would like redeem Jar Jar for everything he did for the Empire, because he obviously didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but he was the reason that the Chancellor got the powers. You know what I mean? He gave them the executive powers, and the whole universe for the most part held it against him. He was the reason why the tyranny happened, and that it's really sad. But it would make sense why Jar Jar had such he always had an upbeat and happy attitude, even living on the streets, just entertaining children. Why? Because he knew, even though the whole galaxy didn't know, he knew that his actions directly saved Grogu and directly then saved the Jedi. So in one full sweep, they redeemed not only the actor of Grogu, of Jar Jar, and Jar Jar himself. How you like that? How you like that? Because go back and watch it. Like, he literally says, my friends, and he was always friends with the Jedi. I mean, so with the younglings, of course, but who else would be probably around him a lot would be Jar Jar. Because again, Jar Jar loved kids, and not in a creepy way, before anyone tries to say that. He was just good with children, I mean, some people are. I mean, I'm great with kids. It's because they look at me and I'm a hobbit, so they're like, wow, this really tall kid has a beard. This is cool. I love little kids sometimes because they straight up like look at me like I'm one of them, and they look at me like I'm tall, and it makes me feel good. Because I'm 5'2" and usually don't feel tall anywhere. You know how I'd feel? I'd feel tall standing next to Grogu and Yoda. That's about it. I think R2 is about my height. You know what I mean? But yeah, I did. And there's been a lot of things. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Mythosaur yet. Oh my God, the Mythosaur. Oh, when I saw the Mythosaur, I legit leapt out of my seat and screamed like a shrillish shriek, like ah, like I can't do it like right now, but like I was legit like screaming like a little schoolgirl, like terrified, like Jason Voorhees was right behind me, because I couldn't believe I saw it. I never thought we would see a live action Mythosaur, so that raised the question: who's riding that Mythosaur? Because somebody is. Someone's gonna do something with that Mythosaur. They didn't just show it just to show that Bo is here to usher in the new age. No. That can't be it. There's got to be more. And I think it's gonna be Grogu. To be honest with you, Grogu has this amazing ability to talk to animals, and like think about when the Rancor was going crazy. Grogu basically walked up to him and was like, "Bro, chill." And the dude is like, "All right, night." Like legit, Grogu just walked right up to him and was like, "Hey, bro, come here. Come down to my level. Chill out. All right." But think about like the way how fortified that place is. Their only shot is with the Mythosaur, or using the creatures and the monsters or whatever you want to call them that are alive on the planet. That's really your only option. I mean, they've got a full TIE fighter interceptor squadron with bombers, as well as what seemed like almost a full platoon of Beskar clad super soldiers. And not everyone on those ships are trained fighting Mandalorians. Like, that's the Mandalorian coverts. That's literally both tribes are up in there. You know what I mean? So it's not like they have all warriors ready to go. Like, if if the freaking Empire just flies up there, I mean, they're screwed because they don't have enough. I don't think even with the transport fighters, the one that Bo has, because there's a few of those on the and a couple other random ships. I don't think they can take on a squadron of TIE interceptors and bombers. I just don't think they can. I don't think they have enough crafts. I mean, does anyone disagree? I mean, because I don't. They had, I think it was like 15 ships, maybe. Let's just say, hell, let's say they had 20. They probably got 20 interceptors and at least another 20 at minimum. And I'm talking minimum 20 bombers. If they were going up there to literally destroy that fleet, they could, without question. But Gideon wouldn't want them to do that. Gideon would want that property back. Because that's his light cruiser that they stole in the first place. He's petty as shit. Like, you know dang well that half the stuff he's done was because someone wronged him in the past. Like, I'm going to get you, damn it, Mandalorians. I saw a theory, and I don't know let me tell me what y'all think about this, that he's a Mandalorian. That he was a Mandalorian that was kicked out of his covert or his tribe, and that's when he joined the Empire and then rose the ranks and became who he was. That's why he seems to know so much about the Mandalorian culture, more so than most people, even the Mandalorians themselves. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that's the case. I feel like he would have came right out and said that. And when he was talking about Mandalore to Bo and all them, said, your planet's rich, it's not our. And I know they could have done that just to like hide the twist that they might do this episode, you know, but I don't think that's the case. I definitely think that there is a lot more to it than we know. The episode, from what I read, is a 35 minutes before the credits. Like, it's 35 minutes, the credits. And I have not got full confirmation whether or not there is a post-credit scene. I have been told by some of my sources that there is, but they could not say with what, like 100% yes, you have it. So I can't report facts that I don't have. I definitely think that we have a lot. I mean, there's a lot to go on. I mean, this series has been so good at expanding the Star Wars universe. And you know who? I just thought about this. You know who might show up? I think Boba Fett and his little mercenary crew, like the Black Chrysanthemum. It's so hard to say that name. And those little like multicolored people on the bikes. I hated those characters. Oh my god, I hate them so much. They annoyed the crap out of me every time I saw them on screen. Oh my god. Yeah, I definitely wasn't too happy with that character, those characters. But I mean, I was in the Book of Boba Fett. And I think that they were, you know, I don't want to say necessary, but I did think that the team needed some fresh blood, like, you know, to have two bounty hunters and a trained assassin. Like, you got to have something to like balance that out a little bit. You know what I mean? And also, everyone who's in the chat, all right, it says only two of you, but let's say there's two of you, okay? A lot of people complained about the Book of Boba Fett, me included, that there shouldn't have been the Mandalorian arc in there, because for almost 3 episodes, the titular character said freaking 2 words the entire 3 episodes, and it was literally a throwaway line at the end of the 3rd episode. So I think that the show would have been much better received and loved by a lot more people if they wouldn't have named it Book of Boba Fett. I think that there wasn't enough Boba Fett to justify it being the Book of Boba Fett, and it should have been something like maybe the War of the Bounty Hunters or War for Mos Eisley, or um the bounty hunter uh uh something. I mean, if they would have named it or like the age of Mandalorians, or they could have named it so many different things that would have changed how it was received. Because I think that when you have a story, like it'd be like if they did an Iron Man movie and he was only in the last 30 minutes of a 2-hour movie. You'd be like, I came to see Iron Man. I mean, I like Captain America and I like Thor, but this is an Iron Man movie. Where's Iron Man? You know what I mean? Like, I love those scenes in the Book of Boba Fett when we got Grogu and Ahsoka, and to see Ahsoka and Luke together on the same scene was, oh my God, so good. But it took away from the story of the Book of Boba Fett. That's my only thing. That's why, I mean, I have Book of Boba Fett much lower on my ranking list of the Star Wars properties because of that. Like, I just think I say the same thing about Batman versus Superman. If you name that like Dawn of Justice and not Batman versus Superman, it would have been completely different. Because when you hear Batman versus Superman, you think the whole movie is going to be Batman fighting Superman. You know what I mean? And it was not that at all. It was literally the start of the Justice League that had a 2-minute Batman versus Superman fight. That's really all it was. But if you name it something like Dawn of Justice, you're like, okay, this is just a prequel to the Justice League. I'm expecting to have these kind of interactions, and it would have worked much better. And like I said, the same thing can be said with the Book of Boba Fett. I think if they would have named it something not centered on Boba Fett, I mean, he can still be the main character. Like, you know what I mean? You don't change a thing. Like, give me the series exactly as it was, just change the name. And I think there'd be a lot more people that were like, yo, I love that the War of Mos Eisley or whatever they called it. You know what I mean? But yeah, and Cobb Vanth could show up. I mean, we know he's alive, but we haven't seen him this entire season. It wouldn't be surprising if they did that. So it like he shows up later as a surprise at the end. I think that'd be pretty cool as well. But yeah, it definitely. Oh, wow, I just almost knocked myself out with my mic. That wouldn't be the first time I did that, by the way. But yeah, there's been so much that I have been so happy for, and we're gonna wrap it up here in a little bit. I have just a few more things I want to talk about with Star Wars. Like this rant specifically, when people say that Disney is ruining Star Wars, guess what? You're wrong. Disney saved Star Wars. Has everything they've done been perfect? Absolutely not. Of course not. But you want to know something else? The original trilogy wasn't perfect either. The prequels were not perfect. The sequels are not perfect. The Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, the anything you can think of, none of it's perfect. But it's Star Wars. And Disney has delivered on some of the best Star Wars content anywhere. Like, so, because I'm not saying all of it's perfect or all of it's the best, but that 4-episode ending to the Clone Wars with the Siege of Mandalore arc, that is almost, if not the greatest moment in Star Wars history, like that we've seen. Like that, those 4 episodes is just so amazing that I don't care about those 3 episodes with the twins, with the sisters that everyone hates, because it led us to that. Or if you look at The Mandalorian, has all of it been great? Absolutely not. But we got Prime Luke taking out a squadron of these unstoppable freaking troopers we've never seen before. We have now expansions on Ahsoka, the expansions on the Mandalorians. I mean, what they have done has done nothing but accentuate the property that we already had. I mean, think about this. I remember I was alive when there was only 3 movies and books and some comics. That's it. So for people to complain that Disney ruined Star Wars when we are literally at a point where we were getting two separate Star Wars properties a week for a short time there, I'll take all those imperfections. I'll take them. I will take all those imperfections and just for the good stuff. Like the where somewhere along the line, people stopped enjoying things. And me, and anyone who knows me, knows I don't take time to enjoy things. I don't celebrate my own achievements. I don't, praise myself. I don't do a lot. I see a couple walking with holding hands and I think, ew, gross, take your happiness elsewhere. But if I'm telling you to just enjoy it and let the bad stuff go so you can get to the good stuff, you probably should. You probably should. Because for me, there's just been, like I said, that 4-episode Siege of Mandalore arc. Give me that as a live action movie, and it's the best live action Star Wars movie we've ever had. Hands down, better than Empire. Hands down. That Siege of Mandalore arc was next to perfect. Next to perfect. And then think about it. If without Disney, we wouldn't have had the Star Wars game that's about to get a sequel right now, Jedi Fallen Order, then Jedi Survivor. That wouldn't have happened without Disney. So for people to say that Disney is ruining Star Wars, I say you're wrong. Flat out, you're wrong. That's not even an opinion at that matter. You're just wrong. And I'm not one to say that people's opinions don't matter, because they absolutely do, and you're allowed to have your opinion. But when facts smack you in the face, is it really an opinion, or are you just being a jerk? I mean, let's call it like it is. I mean, there are people that are literally right now bashing the Marvels movie that hasn't even come out yet. There is literally a guy on TikTok that a million people have stitched, where he was like, "Man, this movie's mid as hell. This movie sucks. This movie sucks." Bro, the movie hasn't come out yet. You can't know for sure that the Marvels is a bad movie because it hasn't come out yet. There just seems like, and you know what I just thought of, man? It seems that people were all on board with the Mandalorian when the Mandalorian was Din Djarin and Grogu, and wasn't focused on Bo-Katan. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are, misogynist. I'm not saying that, but you can take your own conclusions with that. That's all I have to say about that. Because all of a sudden now it's a problem. All of a sudden, man, I got something in my eye. Excuse me. I can't see. Because, just for sheer, like, if you look at all the Star Wars properties, the worst you can argue are the sequels and the prequels. Well, Lucas did the prequels. And while I enjoy all those Star Wars movies, The Phantom Menace is atrocious. The dialogue is just garbage in most of it. The over excessive use of CGI was not as delightful as George Lucas thought it would be. And if it wasn't for Duel of the Fates, it would have bombed. But Duel of the Fates made up for everything else. Same thing with Attack of the Clones. The entire movie was okay at best, with some cringeworthy lines, but you got that final battle with the clones versus all the troopers, and then you had the Anakin versus Dooku. You had Yoda versus Dooku. So that outweighs it. And then think about Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is by far the best of that prequel trilogy. And it had some of the worst lines in the entire series. But again, we've got that battle on Mustafar. We got Yoda versus Sidious. There's so many great things to enjoy those movies, that just because the whole thing wasn't great doesn't mean it's not worth watching. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. There's a big difference between giving a critique and reviewing something. A critique, you look at cinematography, you look at editing, you look at music, you look at all of these different things that can be quantified. That's good versus bad. That's quality versus bad. You know what I mean? Versus quality versus lack of quality, I guess. Like The Godfather is one of the greatest movies of all time, but I don't like it. I can still sit here and go, that movie's amazing. It's a great movie. It's not for me. And I love mobster movies, so it's not because I don't like the genre. I just didn't like it. It was just really tedious. It took too long to build, and I just wasn't happy with it. You know what I mean? So like, and then conversely, the Green Lantern movie is a dumpster fire, but I love that movie. I might just put that on right now after I'm done with this, just because. No, I'm not gonna do that. I got too much work to do. But you don't, and the Batman versus Superman, that's the biggest debate. People are like, oh, Batman versus Superman is a great movie. It's not. It's not. Is it entertaining? Do I enjoy it? For the most part, yeah. Can other people really like that movie? Absolutely. 100%. That doesn't make it good. The plot was not very good. The acting was okay at best. Some of the lines, I mean, Martha, come on. I mean, that whole Martha scene was just atrocious. And then the ending, it just like it was 3 movies jam crammed into one that wasn't even fully completed. you know, but I said all that just basically say that just because it's not the greatest content ever doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the stuff in the prequels, but man, I'll watch the entire Phantom Menace, all the stuff I hate, to watch that Duel of the Fates. Ooh, that rhymed. Hey now. um, but yeah, it's definitely been a great ride up to this point. We will have our answers tomorrow. At least some of us will. I don't know if everyone's going to get a chance to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to sleep tonight. Like, knowing that the season finale is literally, hold on, let's see, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 5 hours away. It's like, do I need sleep? I feel like Sheldon. I don't need sleep. I need answers. All right, everyone. So I just want to thank everyone for stopping by today. It was a great first attendance on Junkie. I will probably be doing some live sales and auctions down the line or sooner rather than later, but I really wanted to hop on here and basically I'm gonna do podcast episodes on here. You're more than welcome, Zon. More than welcome. Yeah, and I said you'll be seeing a lot more of me on here and everywhere else. But a lot on here. The way this app is designed to basically to focus on the people who post the most content, people who get the most interactions. I love that. I mean, it's not about who you know, it's about what you bring to the table. And I bring a hell of a lot to the table. So, I definitely, and not for nothing, but I am working on, I didn't get as much done of it today because I was actually busy at work, but I'm going to be writing an article about Junkie for the Nerd Initiative website. I'll probably also couple it with some video content as well, but for sure, I got the green light for the article. So that's going to be on. My plan was to get it done today, but I just had way too much to do at work to be able to get to it. So I will probably work on that some tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully have it up by the weekend. And like I said, I'll be doing more shows on here. Make sure you follow Noah. Make sure you follow Waffle. There's a lot of great people that are already getting on here. This could potentially be the future, everyone. So if you're here now, count your lucky stars, because many people are going to want to get on here. Because when like I'm saying, I've been on many platforms. Honestly, this setup is by far the best one that at least. All right, here we go. This is a perfect example of best versus like quality versus my opinion. This is my opinion. I feel that this is probably the best setup of any of the ones I've been on. It's just it's designed to let you do what you do best. At least that's how I'm seeing it, right? I could be wrong. I don't think I am. I'm not very wrong a lot, but But yeah, everyone, thank you for stopping by. You'll be seeing a lot more of me. Until next time, this is Nerdtooine signing off, ladies and gents. Peace out. I forgot I'm still live on YouTube. Hi. No one was watching live, so they didn't see it. So bye.